Good evening. I'm Barry Silverman, the music director and conductor of the South Coast Symphony here in Orange County, California. As I announced in late May, the Symphony is back in business with concerts beginning this October. We just can't wait to perform for a live, in-person audience once again. As we prepare for our reopening concert, we wanted to share some favorite moments from our past 30 episodes of Unstuffy and Unstoppable, which premiered last September. We will present 5 separate themed episodes. One is called 5 Dazzling Pianists. Another will be highlights from our symphony ensembles, which will feature performances from all 4 of the orchestra families: strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. 3 of our episodes were recorded at the home of my dentist, Dr. Millard Roth, with quite a variety of music, which we're going to call The Variety Show. Another episode will feature songs from Broadway and Hollywood. Tonight, we present highlights from the past winners of our Young Stars of the Future competition and concert. This competition is open to a variety of musical genres, including classical, opera, jazz, and Broadway. To open tonight's concert is conductor and trombonist Isaac KRAMER. He won in our conducting category back in 2010, and until the pandemic, was playing the trombone in the pit for the National Road Company of Fiddler on the Roof. Here is Isaac being interviewed by his mom, Leonie, to tell you what that experience was like.
So now to get back to the show, which I think is really an interesting chapter in your life, let's just hear the whole process of how a show is put together from the very beginning. The audition process, and then just what happens from there until the opening.
So basically a show goes through what's called tech. But before you can get to tech, you have to have auditions for the band, and you have to have auditions for the cast. Now those are totally separate. For the cast, believe it or not, thousands of people will show up, and it's quite a process to narrow it down to the 30 or so that travel, in our case, with us. For the band, that works electronically. So you'll send samples of your playing, and I would say that most of it for the band is about can you work with others. There are 10 people for Fiddler that play in the band, and we have 30 actors, and then we also have 10 people that travels with, that's the crew. So it's a total of 50 people. So with the 10-piece crew, I have nothing but respect and admiration for these people. It's incredibly hard work that they do. The challenge with any tour is to go to a new place. It's unbelievable what goes into that, because even though we have our crew, we pick up about 60 locals, both in and out of a city. And that's unbelievably hard to take. In our case, we have, I believe, 5 trucks. Unbelievable amounts of work. We take our own sound system, our own lights, and then all the venues are different. So every single time it's another story of how much of the stuff can load in, in terms of using our own equipment versus the venue's equipment. It's unbelievable, and I've learned so much getting to talk to our crew during my 2 years with the show.
So let's back up now. We're at the point where you have now rehearsed when the show first opens. You've now rehearsed with the actors. Just take us through that first opening, that first show.
So tech is very interesting because what's going on there, in our case with Fiddler, you're still changing keys. And this tech means that you're actually performing in previews for an audience. And things are still changing. They're starting to get solidified. But this is all before the big official opening, in our case, which was in Philadelphia, which was quite an experience to get to play there. The theater we played at the Kimmel Center, unbelievable. To think that Rachmaninoff was actually performing on the stage that we opened Fiddler with. The history is unbelievable. And the security took me to see Eugene Ormandy's room, which was really, really exciting for me. And tech process, basically, you're going through the show many, many times. A lot of tech is about, for the crew, getting the lighting right, and making sure that the stage can move, all the transitions and all that. And then, of course, the music, making sure that everything works with the orchestra, because in the past there was just a piano, making sure that the cast knows what everything sounds like, and just becoming more comfortable with the storytelling.
Now, would you estimate about how many cities have you traveled to in these
I've been to about
years?
60 cities in 2 years.
60 cities.
In 2004, SHARON was our winner in the Broadway division, and 2 years later we featured her in the Symphony's only completely staged musical, Meredith Willson's The Music Man, where she appeared as Marion the Librarian. She is now performing professionally in the Bay Area and is married to the principal trombonist of the San Francisco Symphony.
One of the biggest changes during this past year, besides having the theaters and concert halls closed for the time being, was that my husband and I welcomed our first child. So we had a pandemic baby, and it's been everything, life-changing in a really, really immediate and profound way. And this next song is such a perfect articulation of that. It's intensely personal, and I just feel every lyric ring true into the very core of my being, and I love it. It's by one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Sarah Bareilles, and it is from the musical Waitress. Here is Everything Changes.
Today's a day like any other, but I am changed, I am a mother, in an instant. And who I was has disappeared, it doesn't matter, now you're here. So innocent, I was lost for you to find, and now I'm yours, and you're mine. Two tiny hands, a pair of eyes, an unsung melody is mine for safekeeping, and I would guard it with my life. I'd hang the moon for it to shine on her sleeping, starting here and starting now. I can feel the heart of how everything changes. I didn't know, but now I see, sometimes what is meant to be. You saved me. My blurry lines, my messy life come into focus, and in time, maybe I can heal and I can breathe, 'cause I can feel myself believe. Oh, my heart's at the wheel now, and all my mistakes, they make sense when I turn them around. Everything changes. What I thought was so permanent fades in the blink of an eye. There's a new life in front of my face, and I know in due time every right thing will find its right place. So I swear I'll remember to say we were both born today, 'cause everything's changed. Everything changes.
We discovered violin prodigy Kevin MIURA when he was just 11. He was already becoming a YouTube hit. He won back in 2014 and is just now leaving to start his college education.
Next, we will play for you Tchaikovsky's Sentimental Waltz. Tchaikovsky uses a reoccurring melody throughout this piece, and I encourage you to look for the little flourishes that change each time, giving a slightly different character even to the same theme. While this piece was originally written for piano, I believe that the violin brings a whole new palette of beautiful colors, richness, and a vibrancy to the piece with its unique voice.
Now living in Hollywood, Nina Herzog was also a past winner in our Broadway category back in 2009. Today she's a singer, songwriter, actress, and voice-over artist.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by. Just like me, they long to be close to you. The day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Going all the way back to 2001, 16-year-old violinist David LISKER was one of our earliest award winners. Now, as a professional violinist at age 36, he's quite amazing.
And now finally, the last piece, one of my all-time favorite pieces. It's called Czardas by Vittorio Monti. And Czardas is one of these melodies that's just been passed down generation to generation. We attribute it to Vittorio Monti, but to be honest, I'm not so sure that you can actually zone in on any one particular composer who created this work, because it's just so prevalent in so many communities throughout Europe, and it's just a really fun and entertaining piece. The first section is very lyrical, very singing, and then it goes off into the fun stuff. So I hope you enjoy that. Here's Czardas by Vittorio Monti.
Thank you.
In 2007, we presented Taylor METTRA, who was studying musical theater at the Orange County High School of the Arts. Since then, she's become a headliner at Disneyland and at various musical theater venues throughout Southern California.
Woohoo! It's so funny performing for an audience you can't see because I feel like I need to applaud for myself after every song. Anyway, I love that musical theater is always changing and adapting and starting new things. And one of my favorite newer things about musical theater is the invention of the story song. Now, these are songs that are not in a musical. They have a full story from start to finish, and it's a way a lot of new musical theater composers are getting their starts. So one of my favorite new musical theater composers is Jeff Blumenkrantz. And because these songs don't typically use a full orchestra, I wouldn't normally get to sing it for the South Coast Symphony. So I'm really excited to share one of my favorite songs. This is My Heart Was Set on You. My mother told me to break up with you. She didn't think that you were good enough to take this prize. She didn't see any sparkle in your eyes. She said you acted like a boy and you wore too much corduroy. But my heart was set on you. My heart was set on you. Besides, her taste was lousy. She's never had a clue. And my heart was set on you. My roommate begged me not to be with you. She couldn't stand the way you always left some toothpaste in the sink. She was amazed at your capacity not to think. She said your head was in a cloud and you talked way too loud. But my heart was set on you. My heart was set on you. I figured she was jealous that I'd found someone new, and my heart was set on you. It's a gamble. Falling in love is sort of like Russian roulette. Yet in spite of all their warnings, I just knew you were a solid bet. A psychic swore you weren't the one for me. She couldn't find you in my aura as I sat there in her room. She said I shouldn't play the bride to your groom. I got her message loud and clear and shoved it out the other ear. 'Cause my heart was set on you. My heart was set on you. Why would I believe a bunch of tarot cards were true when my heart was set on you? It was terrible to face them when it all fell apart, when I was the last to know. But there they were to catch the pieces of my breaking heart with the grace not to say, I told you so. And now to see you after all this time, I'm reminded of the clarity I had back then. Will I ever trust that feeling again? I was so willing to fall, but it's nice to recall how my heart
heart was set on you.
Please join us next Friday evening at 7 p.m. for more favorite moments from Unstuffy and Unstoppable. So, until then, good night.